Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football, continuing to take a look at some of these college football bowls. And we got probably one of the best ones on the slate between the Big 12 Texas Longhorns and the Pac-12 Washington Huskies. This line has moved a lot, and I think you're going to see a lot of points. And I think you're seeing two teams that are really excited for 2023 and want to go into that offseason with some big-time momentum. Before we get into the game, talking about each of the programs, I just want to say thank you guys for the support you guys have shown. Again, the support you guys have shown the last month has been absolutely phenomenal. The boys really, really do appreciate it. So the best way you can support the channel if you do enjoy the content is to subscribe, like the video. We really do appreciate you guys. Dill, I'm going to kick this one off to you. Early takes on the bowl game here in the Alamo Dome.
I mean, just looking at this matchup, I would have thought Washington would be a kind of a big favorite, truthfully, going in. I mean, Washington has all year played really, really good. And, I mean, their offense has just been incredible. Their defense has been good, and everybody's coming back. Braylon Trice, Zion Fatuli. Like, I just feel like they're, like, in a good position to play a bowl game right now. And
the eyeball test certainly favors the Washington Huskies. I think a lot of Texas fans are a little bit disappointed in the first year under Quinn Ewers. The consistency hasn't been there. And when you look at all the opt-outs that you have for Texas on both sides of the ball, it's not good. I mean, Bijan Robinson, for as bad as Quinn Ewers was playing at points, like Bijan Robinson was carrying this offense. He's opted out. Roschon Johnson, who I think is another top 10 running back in the country, opted out. Overshown on the defensive side of the ball is opted out. They have a plethora of guys on defense who have hit the transfer portal. And then the Washington Huskies, they got like nobody in the portal, nobody opting out, everyone planning on coming back for 2023. It seems like the motivational factor has to be with the Washington Huskies here.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm looking at it. Like, everything Washington would have wanted heading into 23 is kind of happening. Like, they're getting their big defensive players back in a unit that I think they hope just improves a little with age and a further year of development. And then obviously the big one is Penix. I mean, Penix had a year where, to me, I thought, oh, well, how can he play much better? Why wouldn't he leave and go to their draft now? But to get him back is massive. And
I think you might see some of those wide receivers, Polk, McMillan, Odunye. I think all those guys are probably wanting to come back too. And if you get that offense back, second year under Kalen DeBoer, you're looking at probably the best offense in the Pac-12 and a certain Pac-12 contender next year.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's just when you got bowl games with teams like Texas. You're right. They're losing some heavy hitters. I mean, those two backs were pretty much their offense, at least in terms of consistency. You got a guy in Xavier Worthy who's already kind of hinted at not being back, and he's certainly not happy with the situation, and he's not happy with his ability to work in that offense. And he's a guy who he should be expecting 1,500 yards when he's on his game. He's too fast. He runs really good routes, and he's just a handful to deal with. And the fact that he's not putting up those massive numbers, I can see why he's getting a little frustrated, because he's certainly got the talent to be a Blitnikoff type player and just not working it that way in this offense.
For Texas, I think the biggest thing for Texas fans, and I don't even think you're concerned with what the final score is. You need to see some consistency between Quinn Ewers and Xavier Worthy. If this team wants to compete for a national title in 2023, which I certainly think they are capable of, you look at what teams need. You need a quarterback and wide receiver battery. You look at historically Ohio State's teams, Alabama's teams. They've always had a quarterback and wide receiver duo that is, when you need a big play, you can go to those guys. Xavier Worthy and Quinn Ewers have the capability of being the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the country. You just didn't see it this year. You need to see some chemistry develop between those two guys. And if you see that, even if you lose this football game, I think you're feeling pretty good heading into 2023, but that duo between Ewers and Xavier Worthy needs to start clicking.
Yeah, that I'm kind of with you. I think the big thing is can you find something with that receiving core in Ewers, because your running game is going to take a step back when you lose a guy of the Bijan Robinson and frankly Roschon Johnson, that two-headed monster, you just can't. That's irreplaceable, especially Bijan. He's just so good. So you're gonna need to see something out of Ewers to make you think, okay, this talent that he has and has been hyped up to be, this needs to translate to the field, and they're gonna need to be able to throw the ball, at least be more balanced than they were this year because it was so heavily skewed running.
And you look at what they'll have back on the offensive line. I think this has potential to be one of the best offensive lines in the country. I mean, some of those young freshmen looked phenomenal for 18-year-old kids out there. That was the biggest concern we had heading into the season, was how are they going to protect Quinn Ewers, a guy that's not necessarily the most mobile dude, wants a clean pocket to throw from. Thought that offensive line down the stretch was very, very good, not only in pass protection, but the run game. You're going to get most of those guys back. This offensive line will look good. You just want to see Quinn Ewers get some confidence. I think it's a kind of a similar situation to DJU and Clemson, where you know he's got the talent. If anybody who's watched college football knows Quinn Ewers has all the talent in the world, he just needs some confidence. He needs some chemistry with those wide receivers. You get JT Sanders back, maybe Jordan Whittington comes back. You're looking at 3 elite pass catchers, adding on Xavier Worthy, with, if you can click with Quinn Ewers, an elite quarterback. You just need to see that chemistry being developed, because 56% completion percentage for 14 touchdowns and 6 interceptions ain't going to cut it. I know he's been hurt.
Part of me thinks like you just got to see what he was before the injury against Alabama, because when he was playing in that Bama game, I think we all thought, like, God, man, this Texas team, they're going to be a force, and they were beating up Bama pretty good, and then he had the injury, and he never really came back and looked the same. It just didn't feel like it. So you wonder, maybe all this time off and get him right, and because you're right, if he's locked and loaded, like, the wideouts are going to be really good. I mean, if they can keep Xavier Worthy and make sure he's engaged, I think he might be the best wideout in the country, to be honest with you. And just getting some momentum going back. And I'm kind of with you. You don't necessarily need to see a win, but you want to. I think you're just so fascinated by what you can get out of this passing attack, because they haven't even really gotten the chance to do it, because you can't take the ball out of Bijan's hand. And the only times they really were slipping up on offense that bad was when they went away from the running game, because now they're pretty much forced to pass. So I think we're going to see what a Quinn Ewers throwing the ball 30 to 40 times can be.
I think that's what they should do. And it's almost like, we know we can run the football. This game, it doesn't matter if we finish the season 9-4 or 8-5. I want to see Quinn Ewers get one more game where we lean on him and give him a chance to develop that chemistry. Because, again, at the end, down to the stretch of this season, they kind of lost confidence in Quinn Ewers and just turned around and gave the ball to Bijan Robinson. It's what they did against Baylor. It's what they did against Kansas, and it worked. But if you want to win a national championship in 2023, which I think a lot of Longhorns fans have that's what their goal is, Quinn Ewers is going to need to be a guy that you can trust. Now, getting into the pick, it's really, really hard for me not to take Washington, even just on the money line. They're dogs in this game. Eyeball test, Washington's look better. I think they have a lot of confidence heading into this game. You see how they finished down the stretch. They won their last 5 games. Very, very confident team heading into 2023. You have most of your guys who've played all year for you playing in this game. They're going to want to go on a national stage down to the state of Texas and beat this Longhorns team. Give me both Washington, the money line, and give me them on the points, because I really think the Huskies take care of business here.
And I got to say, I'm with you on the pick for the most part. The one thing I think that we might be overlooking a bit is I think Texas defense is really kind of good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they might be the best defense that Washington's faced besides maybe Utah. So I don't know that I don't. We'll see. I think I'm still with you on the Washington pick, because I do think this offense will get theirs, and I'm a little skeptical about what Texas can do, given that they don't have Bijan or Roschon, and those guys I think were just such an integral part of what their attack was. But I am excited to see some of these guys, like the Jalen Forge, the Barron Sorrells, those guys who are coming back. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Justice Finkley, that big recruit out of the 2022 class. Again, you because that defensive line, when it's humming, is like, I mean, they shut you down. TCU couldn't like drop back and throw it. That's a good offensive line. So if Texas can get after him up front, I don't love this Washington Huskies O-line. I think it's okay, but I think they can be exposed a little bit. And if Texas can turn it up on them, man, we might see it. We might be off on this pick here. I don't know. That's the one risk I see is just the
It's also in the Alamo Dome. You're probably going to see a lot of Longhorns fans showing out. That place gets very loud. Texas has some of the best fans in the country. I got to trust my eyeballs on this one. I think the Huskies have been a team that you can trust a little bit more. I trust Michael Penix a little bit more at this point than I do Quinn Ewers. Give me the Huskies. I'm certainly going to have eyeballs on this game. I think this is one of the best bowl games we're going to see all year. Two teams that have a lot of expectations heading into the 2023 season. Close it out on that. Again, appreciate you guys checking us out. And if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.